With the United States and Israel launching coordinated strikes on Iranian nuclear sites, missile facilities and senior leadership, Tehran responded within hours with an unprecedented barrage of ballistic missiles and drones aimed at American military installations across the Middle East and at Israel itself. The scale of Iran's response, involving multiple waves targeting dispersed sites, signals that Tehran is determined to impose costs far beyond its borders, pulling host countries into the crossfire and raising fears of proxy activations, oil disruptions, and further escalation across the Persian Gulf and Levant. One of the primary targets was Al Udeid air base in Qatar, struck by Iranian missiles according to both Iranian state outlets and regional reports. This facility, located southwest of Doha, serves as the forward headquarters for US Central Command and hosts more than 10,000 American troops, along with a massive air wing that includes B-52 bombers, fighter squadrons, and aerial refueling tankers essential for projecting power across the region. Its relevance stems from its role as the nerve center for US air operations in the Middle East. Any disruption here directly hampers command and control for ongoing strikes against Iran, while exposing Qatar, a key US ally that also maintains diplomatic ties with Tehran, to the dangers of hosting such assets. Explosions near the base prompted Qatari authorities to partially close airspace and issue shelter advisories, illustrating how the retaliation immediately threatens a nation that had hoped to remain on the sidelines. Nearby in the Gulf, Iran directed missiles at the US Navy's 5th Fleet headquarters at Naval Support Activity, Bahrain, a strike confirmed by Bahraini state media and US officials. This compact but strategically vital base on the island nation coordinates all American naval operations in the Persian Gulf, Arabian Sea, and Red Sea, supporting destroyers, minesweepers, and patrol craft that enforce freedom of navigation and could facilitate blockades or escorts during conflict. Bahrain's importance lies in its position astride critical shipping lanes near the Strait of Hormuz. An attack here not only endangers several thousand US personnel and their families, but also risks drawing the Bahraini government deeper into the fighting, as the kingdom has already reduced staffing at the facility in anticipation of precisely this kind of retaliation. In the United Arab Emirates, Iranian missiles targeted Al Dhafra Air Base outside Abu Dhabi, where US forces operate advanced F-35 Lightning II stealth fighters, U-2 reconnaissance aircraft, and the 380th Air Expeditionary Wing, responsible for intelligence, surveillance, and refueling missions that supported the initial strikes on Iran. The base's location makes it a forward staging point for long-range operations, and its exposure has already caused explosions and debris fallout in nearby Dubai and Abu Dhabi, killing at least one civilian and forcing partial airspace shutdowns across the Emirates. The UAE's decision to host these high-value assets underscores the strategic gamble Gulf states took in allowing US presence, now placing their booming cities and oil infrastructure directly in harm's way. Further north, Ali Al Salem Air Base in Kuwait came under Iranian fire, a logistics and air support hub that houses elements of the 386th Air Expeditionary Wing, along with transport aircraft and special operations forces critical for rapid deployment across Iraq and the Gulf. Kuwait's proximity to Iran makes it a natural target, and strikes here threaten the thousands of US troops stationed in the country, while complicating Kuwaiti efforts to maintain neutrality amid its own history of hosting coalition forces during past Gulf conflicts. Reports also indicated rocket attacks on a US facility in Iraq's Kurdistan region, where American troops advise local partners and maintain counter-terrorism capabilities. Any hit there risks reigniting tensions in a country still recovering from years of instability. Directly across the region, Iran unleashed multiple salvos of ballistic missiles toward Israel, triggering nationwide air raid sirens and successful interceptions by Israeli defenses, but still marking the latest chapter in their direct confrontation. These attacks on Israeli population centers and military sites demonstrate Iran's intent to force Israel into a sustained defensive posture, while signaling to the broader Arab world that resistance carries a price.
The cumulative effect of these strikes has already produced visible signs of regional spillover. Saudi Arabia reported unexplained explosions near Riyadh, flights across the Gulf have been disrupted, and several nations have urged citizens to evacuate or seek shelter. With Iranian officials vowing to continue until the aggressors are deterred and US forces on heightened alert, the conflict shows every indication of expanding beyond a contained exchange into a dangerous multi-nation crisis that could draw in more actors through proxy militias or economic fallout from threatened oil routes. Developments remain fluid, but the targeting of these dispersed US bases reveals Iran's calculated strategy to punish supporters of the strikes while testing the limits of American and allied resolve across the entire Middle East.